This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Let's go straight over to the Paris Games, and we're wondering to see if Ariarne Titmus would become Australia's greatest ever swimmer, and everyone looked upon her and said, Ian Thorpe, he's in the...
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Yeah, who is that guy?
Ian.
Yeah, Ian.
To Thorpe.
Well, Emma McKeon has already surpassed Ian Thorpe anyway.
I know.
Total medals, absolutely. But Ariarne's the person,
Yeah.
right, for the gold medals and all that kind of individual stuff. And she was upset this morning by Molly O'Callaghan, and you've got a feel for Molly, don't you?
Yeah,
because
well, the trials gave us a hint of what this race was going to be like.
Superstar.
They both broke the world record at the Australian trials, and so you go, and it was a touch.
Yep.
There was a touch between them.
Yep.
And so you had to expect that she was going to be up and about.
fresher as well, by the
Yes,
way.
that's
So
right.
she didn't get, Ariarne's already won her gold medal to kick things off. But I feel for Molly because she's a genuine superstar in her own right. But the expectations, and I think a lot of people were leaning and hoping Ariarne's story would continue.
Yeah.
But anyway, good. Well done to
Amazing, both
Molly.
of them. 1-2.
Yeah,
That's
they
brilliant
absolutely
to see.
cleared out from everyone
and
else.
their team, they trained with the same coach in the same squad and everything. Like,
How
you know,
good to
that's-
see.
yeah.
They were saying that if, who was saying that? James Magnuson, he was saying yesterday that if it was just Boxall,
Versus the rest of the world.
Versus the rest of the world.
Yeah.
His team of swimmers would be on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Versus
That's
the rest of the
amazing,
nation.
isn't it?
Do you reckon they really like each other and happy for each other's success because one's success means the other one's failure?
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. When you're in those sports, they're individual, but they're also team
Yeah.
as well, Nathan.
because
and it is difficult.
They seem to genuinely like
the
one
line
another.
seems blurry, but I wonder in your own head what you're thinking.
Yeah. So in footy, for example, you're in the team, you can get axed for someone who's
Yes.
one of your best friends,
Yes.
and then they take your job.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And there must be such
And
a
you're like,
hard
"Oh, I
way
love
not
you,"
to
you know?
feel anything from that towards
Well,
the person that's been given the thing that, or has achieved the thing that you wanted.
Well, I think it's really just disappointment on your own behalf, and then it's a good point. Dawn Fraser was interviewed afterwards, and she gives us an idea where the race was won.
It was one on the turn in the third lap. She came out very fast and she came out a long way and she just picked it up and kept on going. There was no fall back in a sprinting, and 10 metres to go, she just flew. No one was going to catch her.
So they say in swimming, it's all about the tumble turn, which I
Yes.
can't do. So
No,
I
I
go to
could
the
never do
swimming when we're swimming in groups,
Yes.
and I
So
put my hands
flat
out
out,
front,
you're good.
and
but
then I kind of turn and push off with my legs,
Yeah.
and every time I learn.
That's the
leave
only thing that
meters there.
stopped you from going to the Olympics. Shaun.
100%. So I can't do the tumble turn. That was won by Molly O'Callaghan,
Yep.
as far as
The
Dawn
other thing
Fraser
is
was
that
concerned.
Molly's a sprinter and Ariarne's a distance, and they kind of meet in this 200-metre race. So Ariarne's the stayer, and Molly's the one who just came charging home. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the vice versa of what should
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Because
You
Ariarne
think
should
you
be
should go?
charging
Yeah,
home.
should go back.
Anyone
Yeah.
that doesn't know anything about Dawn Fraser, you should Google her and her history with the Olympics. It is so funny.
Yeah,
It's
the
amazing.
flag
It's
and all
so
the stuff
funny.
that
She's
she got up
stealing
to.
the flag and just
She won the same event at 3 consecutive Olympics, which is
I
extraordinary.
tell you,
Yeah.
it just seems like back then it would have been fun.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
back then
Yeah.
they weren't worrying about making anti-sex beds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
I
just
know.
everyone do everything and you can steal flags and whatever you want to do.
Well, she was
Certainly
then
could.
She was been
banned.
told.
Yeah,
yes,
she was banned
but,
forevermore.
but you would never get an athlete these days stealing a flag.
Oh, no. You'd be in all
From the
sorts of
Imperial
trouble.
Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one that came out of last night, there was a lot of team events, and that was good and bad for Australia along the way. But Harry Garside, if you watched him box last night against Richard Kovacs from Hungary, when you were watching it, he was trying his guts out, but he gets getting hit in the head, and that's the
That's a
idea
problem.
of
That's a
boxing
problem.
is not to do that.
What do you think about the guy's reaction to him, though? You know,
Yeah,
it was being very over the top, and some of them are doing that
in the third round. Yeah, when it
Well,
was already
but
won.
that is
I was
boxing.
doing it in the second as well.
That is boxing, but it seems like when you're playing the Olympics,
Yeah.
everyone should be gentlemen.
you rise above
Nah,
it.
yeah, no.
That's what it feels
I
like.
I know what you're saying, but it's
But
boxing, and we
it's
see it at
boxing.
100 miles
Yeah.
an hour. Here's Harry after the event.
And to not get it done is just like I feel like a bit of a disappointment for that. But I shot for the stars, and I will always be the man in the arena trying to shoot for the stars, and hopefully I grab something at some point.
Hopefully his
Yeah.
boxing career on a professional level can go further, and we've all loved his journey along the way. You know,
Yeah.
the ballet.
Yeah.
He was looking for the gold medal. He was certainly looking for a podium
Because he was
finish.
the bronze
There's no question
medalist
about
from
that.
the last Olympics.
Well,
So
they're
He
saying-
was clearly beaten. Like,
Yeah.
he was beaten big time
Yeah.
because Kovac just sat back and Harry was coming at him and he just kept popping him left,
Yeah.
right and centre.
So he had no sex up until the Tokyo Games.
Yep.
And then he did the same for these games. So next time, I wonder if he's just going to be pounding everything beforehand just to see.
I know, how's it working out for you, Nathan?
I just want him to be pounding everything to see if that changes his game.
maybe
that was the
You
thing.
know what I mean?
You look at the factors and go, what can we change?
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
I'll just-
exactly.
Yeah, I'll just be like getting on top
All
of
right, we've
everything.
got to push Harry on to the next Olympics. We just got to see if it works.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
There's a few sports around the world that you can play like 24/7, every month of the year. You can go to another country and play. And one of them's golf, obviously.
Yes.
And just the other
And
day...
squash.
Squash?
Because it's indoors. Yeah.
Indoors? Oh, yeah, no problem. Just the other day, they had the British Open on for the old-timers. It's the seniors British Open.
circuit,
Squash.
Yeah.
And so all the guys you've seen play for 30 years anyway, they're just playing again, but they're playing still for hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Name some names.
Oh, there was... I was going to say Sevi Ballesteros, but
That's
he's
the
not
only
one
one I
of them.
could think of.
Was it?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
that's a
one
good
in
one.
my head.
There's-
Faldo?
Yep.
Nick
Nick
Faldo.
Faldo, was he playing? There was the guy that smokes the cigars, Darren Clark from Ireland. He was playing. Yeah, there was a number
Ernie
of the...
Els.
Ernie Els. I don't know. I think he might have been playing.
Golf.
But the other one for me, and it doesn't mean you have to be old, but you can play anywhere around the world, is cricket.
Yes.
And at the moment, just finishing up last night was the Major League Cricket played in America.
Yes.
And Pat Cummins was playing for the Unicorns. Use your horn.
Yes.
Unicorn.
Use your
Unicorns.
horn.
Yep.
Oh, that is the gayest name for a team.
And they went down to Ricky Ponting's team because he's coaching over
What's
there.
he coaching? Jesus, what's that called?
They are Washington Freedom.
Okay.
Okay. And they have in their team AJ Ty from West Australia.
Yes,
Glenn
I know
Maxwell. And our good mate Smithy, who used to captain the Australian team.
Does anybody
Steve.
in the Americas care?
No, they've
Well,
got
so
it
there is
in
a
every-
big Indian diaspora.
No,
so,
I get that.
and then
Yeah.
the Caribbean, there's a
Okay.
big Caribbean population as
Okay.
well. So if you
there is an audience.
Yeah, and it's growing. They just had the World Cup there.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not a massive audience,
No.
mate,
Yeah,
but you're
no.
right. But because of
Yes.
what Nat was talking
Yeah.
about, there are people there to watch it.
Because I just don't think I don't think it's exciting enough for the Americans.
2020
No,
is
2020.
as interesting as baseball.
So one year,
Baseball
Shane
drags
Warne
a
went
bit.
over and played, and he played with Sachin Tendulkar in, like an All-Stars game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a full house. It was like,
Yeah.
40, 50,000 people turned
Yeah.
up. But they were mostly there to see Sachin Tendulkar,
Yeah.
even though at the time
But,
Shane Warne was a
Yeah.
superhero.
I'm just thinking if I'm American, right? So just even the pants. You're wearing slacks while you're playing a game of sport. You're wearing slacks. You know what I mean?
I know, but if you look at American sport, if you're the baseball umpire and or the NBA umpire, you're running up and down the court. In particular, the NBA guy, you're wearing
You're in
nice
slacks.
slacks.
Yeah.
but
Like
yeah,
proper,
yeah,
like
but
suit slacks.
they're not the people playing though, are they?
No, baseball they wear long pants.
Yeah,
No, but
yeah.
they're long pants and they're tight pants or a baseball pant. These are just slacks. These are like a polite pant for lunch.
I don't know that
No, they're more
many
of a
people are
tracky
worried
pant, a nice
about
tracky
the
pant.
pant.
I'm the recent cricketer in the group. I'm the person that's played most recently, so I think I'll defer to my knowledge on what pants we wear.
I think Harry's played more recently there.
Harry's this is Nathan, Nat and Shaun, not Harry. This is us three talking.
In the AFL at the moment, Nat Fyfe is going up to defend himself at the tribunal. He hit Jai Cully in the face or around, but it was more of an open hand.
So
He
you're
was trying to
saying it
get
was like
off
a
him.
fend off
Yeah, it
rather
was more
than
of a fend off
strike?
and I think that you'll see that once they break it down that. I don't
So
think
you
he's
think
got a
he'll get
case
off?
to answer for.
Oh, sorry, Fifey, this doesn't look good.
Yeah, no, that doesn't look good for them. And it was interesting to see a guy from North Melbourne, Cam Zerha. Now, he's a West Australian. You guys wouldn't know his name. He's a West Australian. He's been out of contract this year, and Fremantle and the West Coast Eagles have been trying to lure him back here.
Okay.
And I always
hang on,
thought
let me put it into context. Nathan understands. Harley Reid's dating his sister. Keep going.
Oh, I know her.
And I always thought, he's come out of contract at the right time. Has he delivered much? Not really over the journey, but he's in the opportunity where, someone else wants him.
Yeah,
like
he's in the
West
window,
Coast,
yeah.
more importantly, and Fremantle on the other hand of things. So you're going to get paid more money than you expect.
But also, think about it, right? Now knowing that Harley Reid's dating his sister, of course, West Coast want to get him here because then you want the girlfriend to come over here.
And
so
he's a West
Harley
Aussie.
stays here.
All adds up.
She's a football player too.
It is a major plan.
Yeah, but he just signed a 5-year deal to stay at the Kangaroos.
At the Kangaroos.
And they have won the Wooden Spoon like 5 out of the last 6 years.
West Coast beat them
I
to
just
the
made that
Harley
up.
Reid Wooden Spoon last year.
That will go down as one of the worst things
Yes.
I've ever done, North Melbourne. Disgusting.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Nathan, let's go to the headlines.
The headlines for the games. The current date are Paris Olympics 2024. American media outlets are slammed for reporting the wrong rankings.
They do this all the time.
Yep. They do the complete medal tally,
Yes.
not the gold. And
Yes.
the way that the Olympics, judge the
Yes.
winners is by gold. So they're doing it different than everybody else
So
in
it
the
makes
world.
them look better.
Sure.
It's just the way the American does everything. So when you
but
play
they
sport
only
over
do
there,
it when they're not winning overall. If they're winning overall, they do it by gold medals, and when they're not winning overall by golds, they do it on the total number of medals.
but it's going to be 48 hours, 72 hours. They're going to be at the top anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't see that's going to be a big deal. But
It's just funny.
They report their sport is you win basketball, you're the world champion.
Yeah.
There's other countries that
Yeah,
play basketball.
right.
This is what-
you
that's
win the
what Kate-
baseball, you're the World
Yeah.
Series
Yeah,
winner.
okay.
Like,
That's
how
what
they
Kate
operate.
Campbell
Yes.
was. That's the criticism she was making that they then turned around and Phelps had a crack at her about it. That's what
'Cause they
that's
won
what
more
she's
medals.
talking
So
about.
this is the thing, though, because right now we're in our golden era of the games because swimming's happening, and that's where we collect probably our most medals. Am I right to say?
Oh, 100%. No.
Yeah. So, we need to sledge the Americans. How are we going to sledge them? There is a new sledge coming up from the Aussie camp, and it's taken this life of its own on X and on the socials, and that is we sledge the Americans by telling them that they are not Girt.
Yes.
Now, as you know, Australia is Girt
Not
by sea.
Girt by
Yes.
sea.
And that's why we are such
That's why
good
we're good at
swimmers.
swimming.
So people are saying things like,
full Girt.
yeah, but there's a difference between being surrounded and being Girt. Girt is a mindset, they're saying. So Australians are extremely Girt and the Americans aren't and can't be Girt because they have borders.
And they don't know
Well, they
how to
have
be
borders.
good anyway.
But at the end of the swimming competition, I'd imagine the Americans would have more gold medals than Australia anyway. So I'm not
Yeah.
sure how that's going to...
Let's go down to
Yes.
money.
Go.
All right. If an Australian wins gold, they will receive only $20,000. For silver, it's $15,000, and for bronze, it's
Yeah.
$10,000.
Yeah, so Simone Biles will get $37,000
Yes.
for winning, and if you're a Hong
And a
Kong
half.
champion,
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you get?
Hong Kong. So you get, for a gold medal, $1.1 million.
And somebody's won one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$561,880 for a silver, and for a bronze, $281,903.
So 200. So in the race where Ariane Titmus and Molly O'Callaghan just won gold and silver, the bronze medalist was from Hong Kong.
Honkers.
So how much did you get? 260,000.
Yeah.
That's not a bad
that's really
payday.
good.
You're getting way more
know.
than
No one cares
the
about
gold
bronze.
medalist.
We
It's
just
amazing.
they just can't. So for America and also for Australia, with the population being so big and 400 people representing the Aussies over there, they can't afford.
No.
Or we can't afford
Yeah.
to pay them any
No.
higher.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the Sen. They said that this is terrible. They spent like nearly $1 billion
Yeah.
or whatever
Trying to
clean it up. But the problem is the heavy rainfall means the sewage goes back into the Sen. They're saying it is 9 times the acceptable level of E. coli in the water, which means that the triathlon could be a duathlon.
But also, they're supposed to be doing the open
Yes.
water swimming in there
The
as
open
well.
water
And
swimming
you
there,
can't
yeah.
convert
So
that
this-
to anything
Yeah.
else. What do they do?
So literally,
Drive them to the beach?
you can't win an Olympic medal
No.
for a triathlon when you've
not
only done
fair.
2 of them.
Yeah.
I
Two
think
of the
they'll
things.
change. I think they'll either change it, which they'll take it down to the beach or something
Yeah,
along those
they'd
lines,
have to be a
into
pool somewhere,
the
wouldn't they?
marina.
But they've
All that,
always
no.
said
All
that there was no backup plan. Why wouldn't you have a backup plan?
Yeah. And let's finish it off with this.
Okay.
Have you been wondering what is in the long cardboard boxes that people have been handed to at the medal
medal
presentation?
medal presentation. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
they all get a poster. They get a poster that's been done by a special artist, a French artist, and it's basically of Paris, but it shows where the Olympics sort of, it's like one of
Yeah.
those maps you get at
Yeah,
Adventure
like a
World.
stylised map,
A stylised map, but they all get a poster. What do you think about that?
Pretty shit.
They don't even get blue tape.
It's no stuffed koala. is it?
Yeah. There's some of the headlines for the game.
Loved it. Loved everything.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.